All right, welcome to the lunchtime video, most consistent video. Didn't put out anything in the weekend. Haven't been doing any after work videos, so it's really going to be no surprise if I fail. But as I've mentioned many times before, I don't even know if I'm going to take it. I'm going to have a Q&A session on the 15th with a representative from Juniper. A lot of my questions are going to be asked. As far as I know, you can still take it with a mask, but as far as I understand, the pandemic will just get worse around that time, with people spending more time indoors and with the regular flu being added into the mix as well. So at this point, I really don't know if I can take it, but it's just another month. So I think it's worth it to keep studying for it. And then if it turns out that I can take it, it's not going to be an issue. Just go and take it. But of course, there's the other side of the coin, which is it's going to cost, now that I'm working a different job, it's going to cost $3,000 out of my own money, not refunded. If I were still working my old job, I would get about $1,200 back, which is the test fee. Wouldn't get my travel expenses probably, unless there would have been a way to work it out. But there's no branch in that area of the country. There was not for my old job, so it would have been a lot out of my own pocket, even if I was at my previous job, but certainly not as much as it's going to be right now. And I can afford it. I understand what the costs are, I understand what the risks are, and I'm continuing to study for it. So it's definitely not going to bankrupt me. And not only that, if I do pass it, it will more than pay for itself overnight and soon. So let's keep studying for it. Where I left off last, and let me kind of continue that thought that I started the video with, and just show the okay, well, okay, well, okay, so unfortunately it looks like I can't continue that thought. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so here's the representative from Juniper that I'll be having a Q&A with, Yasmin Lara. So hopefully there's going to be answers at that time. It looks like she doesn't have anything. Now, she's not a test proctor or anything like that. She's just an expert on the Juniper payload or whatever, or payroll or whatever, that can answer questions about the content of the exam. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't see anything on her blog about whether or not it can be taken, how it's going to be changed. But that's why I'm looking forward to that Q&A session, because it's going to be really important to know more information about how test day is going to be altered due to the coronavirus. Okay, but that's it for that. So let's keep studying. Yeah, I'm really stressed out about the test, to be honest. I just don't know how much it's going to benefit me, for one. And not only that, I don't know. I don't know if what I could be doing instead would benefit me more. I mean, that's why at this point I'm not planning to do a retake, because I just don't think, if I fail it, I just don't think going back and retaking it is going to be smart, because I just don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to pass it on my second try, and if I fail it twice, that's really a big loss of earned income for me that I'd rather not give up, especially since I could do other things. For example, get my JNCIE, DevOps, But even more important than that, just reading books from Kindle. That's only going to cost me like $30 max, and I can just go through Kindle books. In fact, I already have two that, and I already have finished halfway of one of them, doing a video series on that. So I think that's going to get me a lot farther than just spending large amounts of my own money to take a test that, one, is not even safe to take with the coronavirus, and two, I have absolutely no guarantee of passing. In fact, if I were to pass it on the first try, I would be a statistical anomaly because most people don't pass it on the first try. So not only do I have no guarantee that I would pass it, I essentially have a guarantee that I wouldn't pass it if I look at the statistics of people who pass it on the first try. So I can expect it to cost me double what I'm thinking it's going to cost me if I wanted to pass it, for sure. So it's a sunk cost fallacy. It's going to be important for me to move on. I fought the thought. I've got a great video series to show for it. So I'm willing to try it just because I think it would be interesting. But I don't know if I'm willing to try it again. Okay, so let's pull up the lab. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I have this full lab. I can do so much with this. Right now, I've only got some junipers running. You know, but I got like an endless options. I can do firewalls, F5. That's something you constantly see companies looking for, F5 load balancers. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not a. Here we go. So here's a F5 big IQ CM. So there we go. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing. We've got a Jupyter server, get some data science going. I could pick up a data science book, get that on my skills list on my resume. Security, I could get network security. That's something I think I'm kind of lacking in. That would be a real easy thing for me to move into if I were to just spend some time on it. So lots of things I can really low-hanging fruit things. There's really no reason to work so hard on something so specific that really won't benefit me unless I get the exact right opportunity. All right, but for now, let's continue on. It is harder and harder for me to study with those realizations, but it's only going to be another month, so let's keep working. So, okay, so this is this is the fourth video, so I hope to end this one soon. Unfortunately, kind of what I was planning to do turned out to be more difficult than I had anticipated. All I was planning to do was to set up some kind of topology where Rsvp signaling is used. And that turned out to be really difficult because I can't get Rsvp traffic to reliably send. There's some issue where Rsvp traffic won't send. So I'm going to sniff this link this time because I've been sniffing this other one and haven't been seeing it. So I want to see if there's another link where it's just magically working. Oh, no. Yeah, updates are bad news. If it's working, and like if they can make my VMXs boot up faster, I'll do it. But I've got to update the client version and the server version, which is really risky. Okay, so there's nothing there, so let's open up router 3 and let's continue on where I was last, and that is trying to get Rsvp traffic to send. So you can see we've got Rsvp interface all, Mpls interface all, we've got NCIE-SP, which is usually required. We've got a IP address, we've got family Mpls. As far as I know, that's all you would need. So here's my kind of lifeline for the exam. Let's see if there's some examples of Rsvp. So yep, we've got a bunch of examples, but unfortunately, these are for VPNs. So let's look at MPLS. So yep, we've got a bunch of examples here. So I wonder if you can't use it unless you have a VPN. I mean, this seems like it's what it's telling me, like you have to have a VPN. There's no help documentation for this outside of a VPN. I guess this is a help documentation for that, but the title of it is configuring MPLS tunnels between PE routers. So these would be in an L2 VPN. But the thing is that I would think, okay, you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I can always try that. I can just try setting up a L2 VPN and seeing if Rsvp traffic comes out if I do that. Nothing too difficult about that. And VPNs are going to be a big part of the exam anyways. Okay, so we've got absolutely nothing going through. If I ping it, we will see that ICMP traffic, but even though I have Rsvp enabled, we don't have Rsvp traffic going through. Oh, so I don't see any ICMP traffic. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, it says that it's got it. So oh, okay. Oh, so the ping was working. It's just that I'm not getting any ICMP traffic. It could be the bug, classic bug, where it just sometimes flakes out. Yep, so that was it. It was the bug where it's flaking out. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's not sending Rsvp traffic, but it could be an issue of it's not having an L2 VPN. So we'll do edit routing instances, and then we'll do L2 or my L2 VPN. Okay, and now we'll do set, and then it's going to be instance type. Okay, so we've got a number of options, but the layer 2 options are going to be EVPN, L2 VPN, VPLS. Let's go with just L2 VPN. Okay, so now we've got some good news because I can just do a commit check and it will tell me what else I need. So I need a route distinguisher. So let's configure that. Okay, so it's going to be, it tells me even the format, super easy. So 16 bits, that's going to be 2 numbers. So let's do, this is router 1, let's do 0, 1, and then we've got 32 bits, so that's double that. So it's going to be, let's go 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, now let's do another commit check to see what else we're going to need. Okay, so we need a VRF import or VRF target. So let's go with a VRF target. Okay, so we can specify a community. Let's do auto, that might be the easiest one. Oops, so auto is not going to work because we're going to need okay, so we're going to need to specify it specifically. Oh, I see. Okay. Target, and then we'll do 1:1. Okay, so that's all we need. I'm gonna remove the unnecessary configuration I had before. So I'm gonna do delete VRF target. Oops, actually delete routing instances, and then VRF target auto. Do another commit check. Okay, so that's going to succeed. So let's see if this will cause Rsvp traffic to be sent. So I'll get a fresh capture so that the bug doesn't prevent those packets from showing up. All right, and now I'll commit and quit. All right, so I don't see any difference. There's no Rsvp traffic, nothing like that, unfortunately. So it really, so I might need to add the interface to the, let's see here. Yeah, so I think I need to add the interface there. So let's add, well, let's take a look at the configuration. Okay, and now let's add the interface GE. Now it would be GE001 is the one we would have to add. We wouldn't add 000, but we can try them both. We'll start with 1 because that's the one I would expect to need to be added. Okay, so I don't see any more traffic coming in. Of course, it could be buggy, but we can tell that by pinging. Let's try that. Oops. Okay, so it is buggy. Let's restart it. Okay, so now we've got that bug taken care of. Let's roll back the last configuration and try setting the other one. Oh, this is because I already rolled it back. Yeah, because I was looking at my candidate config, not my active config. So my candidate config is not going to show that statement because I rolled it back. It would still be an active config, but I need to enter another command to see that. Oops. Okay, so it's still capturing. We're just not having Rsvp packets being sent. So let's look that up. GNS3 Rsvp traffic not working, not showing up. Let's go with that. So the traffic issue. Okay, so let's just do this whole, let's check the Rsvp layer. So after you have configured a label switch path, issue the show Mpls LSP extensive command. Let's start there. And this is a great resource, it looks like, so I'm gonna first link this. Okay, and now I'm going to, why don't I just start at the actual top, make sure I don't skip any steps. So we'll start with the show Mpls interface step. And you can see, yep, we've got it up on router 1, and we've got them up on router 2. Okay, so then let's verify the configuration, see if it is similar to this. So we're missing the label switch path, so let's set that up. Okay, and luckily I can use the same naming because my topology looks like it's similar to the one they're using. But at this point, I do not believe, oops. Okay, so I do not believe, so yeah, let's go with 10.0.0.6. Okay, and I don't think I have that set up on the loopback interface. I'm going to check that and add it if it's missing. Oh, I do have one, but it's not that, so I'll change it. Okay, I believe it's a /32. Perfect. Okay, let's get rid of this. All right. Oh, so we're going to need that on router 6 as well. Oops, and it looks like I actually do have it on router 6. But I'm now using a different endpoint IP. Okay, so everything is good to go. Let's check the Mpls layer. After you have configured the label switch path, LSP issued the show Mpls LSP command and determined that there is an error, you might find that the error is not on the physical data link internet protocol IP, interior gateway protocol IGP, or resource reservation protocol layers. So I think I'm missing some of these layers. I'm definitely, I think, missing the IGP layer. So let's set that layer up. I'm also missing the IP layer as well. So we're gonna have a lot of work to do, but I've got half an hour to do it. I do have a meeting at 1, so more like 25 minutes. So let's get started. Okay, and we'll go with these /30 addresses. Okay, and I don't have interface descriptions, unfortunately, but I am following a convention that is pretty simple. So I've got, yep, I've got interface 1 is what I will need. So set interface 1.0. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna make it easy on myself and use descriptions. There's really no reason ever to not use a description. Okay, so let's verify that those are correct. This should be ETH2 to ETH2, perfect, and that's R3. And this is ETH1 to ETH1. Okay, that's R2. So let's go over to R3 now and R2 and set up descriptions on those. So we'll start with R3. We've already got a description there. Okay, so the one going to router 5 is going to be interface interface 1. Perfect. And then description, lend myself a hand. Okay, and now set entries. Okay, so let's jump over to R5 and R4 so we can look at the other side. Okay, and I believe this is 0, 1. Yep. Okay, so 0, 1. Oh, looks like I have it as .2 and not .3, so I will fix that. All right. And this is going to be 9. Okay, so family INET address is going to be, this will be .3. Perfect. I believe this is going to be 0. Yep, and we'll go with .4. Okay, so we're done on router 3. Let's jump over to router 4, and then we're going to need to go back to router 2. But the good news is we only have one more left. I think I'm going to jump over to router 2. That one's a little bit too laggy. I entered my password wrong because of the lag, so hopefully this one will be a bit easier. All right, so let's look at 9 next. Okay, so we'll jump over to router 5 and look at what's at router 9, because we'll have to use the other host address in the /30 subnet. Okay, on router 9, we've got .3, so we'll be using .2. All right, so now we've got ETH02 going to router 4, so this should say ETH4 here. There we go. I believe I can, yeah, if I click this, there we go. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, and it's going to be our router 4. Okay, so let's check router 4. Okay, so it looks like we're going to need another network. I believe the last one I used was on router 0 on router 5, so let's take a look at that. Another thing I could do is set up Ospf. Okay, so yep, this is going to be .5 on router 4, or sorry, on router 2. Perfect. Okay, so yep, we've got everything good to go. All right, so now it's time for router 4. And the next network we're going to be using is .6. That'll be for here. This one we'll have to look up because there's already one in use. And that's going to be port 9. Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure which one this is going to be. Let's check port 9 on here, figure it out. Ah, keyboard is not the best. Okay, so port 9 is going to be .3, so this is going to be .3.2. Oops. Okay, but now we've got one left. It's going to be .6. Okay, so now we've got one more left to go and we'll be good to go. this is the IP layer that we finished configuring. So it says you've got to make sure that it's not physical while we're using virtualization. So it's definitely not going to be physical. But actually, that's not entirely true, because there could be physical errors. For example, if I plug this into the wrong port, it wasn't plugged at all. The control plane and the forwarding plane was not plugged together. Those would be physical errors that I could have, even though I am using virtual machines. Data link error. This is stuff like if it was half duplex, if the speed was set wrong on it. Oh, there's some more things. I guess those are the main things. It's if you look at show interface, you'll see some of the problems that can happen with the. I guess here's another one. If the MTU was set incorrectly, that would be a data link thing. This LAN FY mode. But the big things are going to be the link speed. If they're set differently on either side, you're going to have a data link layer issue. Auto negotiation, if there's a problem with that where it failed to auto negotiate. Full duplex, half duplex. There's another thing called auto mitics, and that's for older equipment. Sometimes you need a crossover cable or a straight through cable. Sometimes the pinouts on the cable are different on the end. Sometimes they're the same. Now in most new equipment, it doesn't matter. It will automatically detect what the pinout is and be able to have the port use it regardless. But there are some old equipment where, and there's also equipment where that's a feature you've got to turn on, where it has to be strung up in a certain pinout. Otherwise, it won't be able to function. But that would be another data link error. Now, of course, it's physical as well. It could be a physical or a data link. It would be a data link if you didn't enable the automatic feature where it could figure that out. And it would be a physical thing if it didn't have that feature and you just had to use the correct cable. All right, so yep, everything's good on the data link layer. So the next part is the IP protocol layer. We definitely figured that out by configuring all of these, and we're not entirely done with that yet because we haven't configured R6. So it's pretty clear why Rsvp wasn't working, because I didn't have any of these layers that is dependent upon configured yet. All right, so this is going to router 5. I believe it's, yep, to, there we go. Okay, and I'll add this one for router 4. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I'll need to figure out which one this is. It'd be nice if it could just tell me, but don't think it can. Nope. Nope, it won't tell me IPs, just MAC address. I think that would be another data link layer issue, but it would only be relevant to virtualization. And that is if you copied a virtual machine so that it was exactly the same and you had two identical virtual machines where all the MAC addresses were the same, you wouldn't be able to cable them together unless you had unique MAC addresses on both sides. And I believe that would be a data link layer issue because the data between them could not be created properly, even though the connection was just fine. Okay, so now we've got 0, so it's going to be .4.2. Okay, now it's time for .1. Okay, so it's going to be this one, 2.1. Okay, so we got some good news. It's all configured. For ease of configuring it, so we're going to go up to the next layer now. We've finished the Internet Protocol layer. So the next layer is the Igp layer, layer 4. Yep, so we can see layer 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then we can choose which one we want to use, Ospf or ISIS. I'm going to go with Ospf because the configuration is a little bit easier, and I've only got about 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to open up everything and configure Ospf. All right, and that's as easy as it is to configure Ospf. Now with ISIS, you've got an extra step. You've got a bunch of extra steps actually. You've got to enable family ISO on the interfaces, and you've got to configure an NET, network entity title, on the loopback address. So that's going to be because ISIS does not use Internet Protocol, IP, family INET, it uses family ISO. So it's got to have its own special kind of address. It can't just use an IPv4 address, which has an advantage because you wouldn't have to do anything special for any special kind of traffic, such as INET 6, because you're already using your own unique protocol to send no matter what you want to send. But it does have that disadvantage where it requires that extra configuration. So it requires a bit more expertise to set up, but it is definitely the one to go with if you weren't just trying to rush through this to get back to work. Okay, so hopefully we've got IP addresses 0 through 6. Now, of course, they're going to be different kinds. Some are going to be directly connected, others are going to be Ospf, but let's do a show route. Pipe match 2.168. So we've got, oh, it looks like we don't have, oh, we do have Ospf, but it looks like we're missing .2, and we're missing .6 and .4. So let's try it on the other ones. And hopefully we'll see, so we do see nope, we don't see, yes, we do see .2 here. So let's try to ping across the wire to .2 of that. Okay, we've got leaf blowers outside, keeping everything nice and clean. Nothing wrong with that, except for these kind of busting my focus up pretty badly, but luckily I've got these things. Okay, so it looks like it's just fine. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, I've got Ospf enabled on all the interfaces, so it's certainly enabled on that one. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe it just takes some time for them all to populate. Ah, exactly. Okay, so it just took a little bit extra time for the SPF calculation to complete. So now we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 3. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be learned through Ospf, but 0 and 1 are oh, it looks like we've got, okay, I see. Wait, what? Why is 0.0 showing up as a OSPF route and as a directly connected route, but other things such as 1.0 are not doing that? Okay, that's confusing. Okay, so we do have Rsvp neighbors now because we finished this, and then these are all the precursor steps required for an Rsvp neighborship. So that's why it wasn't working. I've just oversimplified it and I skipped all the precursor steps. So now that that's up, we're good to go. Let's use the command that they gave, this show Mpls LSP. Maybe they'll give like a step-by-step for that. Okay, yep, they will. So let's do that. So yep, now we've got our LSP up. Perfect. Okay, let's view the LSP route on the transit router. Oh, so these are going to be the LERs, label end routers. So a transit router is going to be one of these. So let's take a look at that. So we should see labels here, and there's specifically there should be a to label. Perfect. Okay, so let's take a look at it on the ingress router. It's going to be router 1, it looks like. Okay, so we learned it through Rsvp. Perfect. Just like it's, oh, okay, well, that's surprising. I'm surprised that they're learning it through their, oh, I see, okay. Okay, yep, I do have similar output. I just was looking at this bottom part thinking that was the only part, but I do have multiple parts. So it's kind of interesting. It looks like I don't have a cost equal path. I thought I would. Oh, am I getting called? Oh no, I just turned my phone off by accident. That's fine. So yeah, everything looks good. Let's do these ping commands. So we're going to do ping mpls rsvp, and now we've got a LSP name. I believe it's my. Well, let's take a look. Oops, and we can get rid of that L2 VPN now. Okay, we'll see that nothing has changed. We're still going to have Rsvp neighborship. Yep, and we're still going to have a Mpls LSP that is up. Yep, so here's the name of that LSP. Let's look at that in more detail. First, let's try to ping it. Okay, perfect. So we're able to ping that. Boy, it'd be nice if I could get this during the test. That would be like the greatest thing ever. So the last thing I'm going to do before I cut the video, I'm going to do a help apropos star, or to get everything. I'm going to do that begins with help, and then I'm going to do pipe match help. Okay, and then I'm going to do pipe match shoots. Nope. So it looks like I can't get this. Okay, so yep, fortunately I only get those 4 documentations for troubleshooting. I got to log back in the work, so I think this is a great video. I learned a lot about what it takes to get Rsvp working, and I understand now why I could not get that working before. Is because I did not have an Igp set up. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.